Yo, yo, welcome to the show. Today, we're going to be talking about boomers and blood sacrifice. What I mean by that is how boomers basically offered up as blood sacrifice their children's children. I'll explain. Now, just pretend you're some young millennial woman, and your boomer parents they tricked you into believing the only way you could live a full, happy, meaningful life is you had to go to school, and then you had to go pursue a career, and then you know that was the path to happiness. So what it did is it tricked this whole generation of women into wasting the best years of their life, their most fertile years, pursuing school and career. And what happened was, whilst pursuing school and career, these women basically became much lesser versions of themselves that they could have been, because they end up riding the cock carousel, many times racking up a high triple-digit body count, completely losing the ability to form a pair bond. And when they do try to, settle down with somebody, usually they're in their late 20s or early 30s or early 40s. By the time their best years are gone, they're post-wall when they decide to settle down, which is extremely unfair to the men. And what happens is, whereas if these women would have lived a more traditional life and would have, stayed at home and been housewives and been good and feminine and submissive, taking care of the children, kept a clean household, cooked for their husband, provided sex for him whenever he wanted to, and just been that good traditional woman, why she would have started having kids at a much younger age. Maybe she would have started having kids in her early 20s or her late teens. So when it's all said and done, instead of having, that one kid or maybe that two kids, they would have had, families of maybe 5 children, 6 children, 4 children. So what happens to those kids that should have been born, that would have been born, had these women not been tricked into taking up this lifestyle of pursuing school and career? Why, at the end of the day, what that is, it's a form of blood sacrifice. The boomers, they tricked their children into performing blood sacrifice is what they did. And for what? And why? For inanimate pieces of rectangular paper? Was that it? To appease the government? I mean, was it truly all about that? Money and government? The boomers, they were tricked themselves. I mean, few people know this or understand this because this isn't taught to us. But in 1913, here in America, our politicians basically sold its citizens into debt slavery to the banks when the Federal Reserve was created. You can look this up. So what happened was, the social engineers tricked the boomers into tricking their children into taking up school and career. And what this did was it put them into a cycle of debt slavery. So a lot of the times these people, they want to have children and families, but many of them are 6 figures in debt. So they're too busy working and they can't start their families. And what happened is, these unborn children were sacrificed to inanimate pieces of rectangular paper and to government and to banks. Don't you get it? These are the gods to the boomers. These are a boomer gods. The government, money, the banks, the whole system. That is their god. And they sacrificed their children's children to it. And it breaks my heart on so many levels. I just wish women could understand that feminism, this was what caused it all. The boomers, they would trick the women into taking up feminist ideology, which is nothing more than the ideological personification of the Jezebel spirit. An evil, wicked, demonic spirit has taken control over the women of Western civilization. They're using up the best years of their lives pursuing school and career, destroying their ability to form a pair bond, destroying their ability to be good partners and wives. And for what? Because they wanted to make their boomer parents feel proud of them? Grandma's like, where are my grandchildren? Like, Grandma, or no, Mother, I went to school and pursued my career. I'm on Tinder. I got knocked up. I have a kid. I mean, this is all just leading to a vicious cycle, is what it's doing. Single mother culture stems from it. Single mother culture, this helps feed the penal system. All of the, well, not all, but most of these poor people who end up in the penal system and incarcerated come from single mother households. In the states, they get more money from the federal government for more inmates they have. The lawyers, they're making a killing off of this. The whole damn thing is a Ponzi scheme. It's all centered around inanimate pieces of rectangular paper and government and the banks. It's time to wake up and break the cycle. The only way to do that is to reject feminism, because feminism is evil. You understand? Emancipate yourselves from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. All right, we'll go ahead and close the show out. Never forget, what is best in life? What is best in life? Thrash your enemies, see them bleed right before your eyes. Hear them scream, please don't let me die. Lamentation of the women, feminism is a sin. Lamentation of the women.